Hi, welcome back to Iran Travel Guide. We are here sitting in a beautiful place in north of Iran. But I just don't want to talk only about north of Iran. Today I want to talk to you about Iran in general. Of course, everyone has heard of the history of Iran. You all definitely know something about the history of this country, the culture of this country.
No, it's true, and Iran is justly famous for that. It has a lot to offer in that regard, and it's what many tourists come for. But for tourists seeking something a bit different, there is a whole world out there to discover. Iran is not very heavily populated except in the major cities, which means there's a lot of wilderness to get out into and explore. There's a huge amount of different environments. Iran has massive biodiversity, especially in the area where we are right now, which is the Caspian Sea coastal plain coming up into the mountains. In this area, which is a narrow band that goes all the way from Azerbaijan almost to Turkmenistan across the south of the Caspian Sea, there's a huge amount of different plants, animals, as well as human activities here, leading to a rich cultural and natural heritage.
And it depends what you want as a tourist. If you're just looking for some peaceful place, this is what you're looking for. But also if you're a researcher, if you're doing some research on different species of animals or plants or rocks or stones, Iran has something to offer, definitely.
Yeah, it's true. There is, as we say, so much here. But it's also important to point out the role that the government and the agencies have done in providing support and assistance to the national parks, which have developed massively in the last few years.
And national parks are the best.
Yes.
I really like them because they're well kept, clean, and you can find different species of animals there. And you can go for a walk, long walk, for hours of walk without having any problems there.
Yes, the idea of sustainable tourism and sustainable development is really taking off here. There's a lot of money and a lot of resources being put into making sure that tourists are attracted, are given the facilities to come, enjoy here, but at the same time that money just doesn't go into the hands of businessmen, but also comes to support the nature that is the reason people come here in the first place.
So yeah, maybe you should come and see all this beauty yourself. I always say we cannot tell all the information. There is a lot. It's going to be a big book. So maybe you can come here, visit yourself, and enjoy this beautiful country. Thank you so much, and see you later.
We're going to go have a look at some more nature. Come with us, stay with the show, and I hope you're enjoying it. Hello and welcome back to Iran Travel Guide. We're with you here in this beautiful forest, and we want to take a moment to talk about a different sort of tourism. We've talked about some of the VIP stuff, the hotels, the resorts, places like that, and those do exist and are very good. But also you might be wondering what it's like for low budget travelers, for backpackers, for example.
Yeah, because for us, as like people who travel a lot, we prefer to go places where we can get like cheap accommodation, cheap food, but good services.
Yeah, and good experience, good cultural experience. Interaction with locals, interaction with the culture is very important to us as travelers, and I'm sure it is for you as well.
Yes, that's true. And also, like Iran, it's actually a very good country for traveling with a low budget. Because first of all, the people of this country are so friendly. So you might end up coming to the country, and in the airport itself,
meet a friend, yes.
who offers their houses to you. And that's very common. Or couch surfing is quite active in Iran.
Yes, it is.
And also different houses in different places. People who give their own houses for rent, for short-time rent, for low
Lower prices, exactly. No, there's a lot of friendliness around. This isn't something we've just discovered ourselves. We've been aware of it for a while, and so have the other tourists we've met. Met a lot of people who kind of came here with some reservations, with some ideas that maybe they might not find it easy, perhaps because of the language barrier, perhaps because of the fact that Iran, you know, isn't always seen to be that open.
Yeah.
But in fact, almost everyone we've met has had the opposite experience, and some of the most interesting stories we've come across have been those of low-budget backpackers and travelers.
People who were on bikes or just like walking or on motorbikes. And I've met, I don't want to like say lots of good things about my country, but I met a lot of people, foreigners, who after coming to Iran always said Iran was their favorite country.
Yeah, say in the number one, or at least in the top 5 for most people. So it's very interesting to hear that from foreigners and how they're persuading us that this is a great place to be.
And also, as backpackers or travelers, I'm sure you want to experience the lifestyle, the tradition people.
Yeah.
You want to join their life, eat their food, be with them. And this is perfect.
And it's the sort of thing which, if you do travel with a low budget, it's great because you can afford to spend more time in the country, really get to know it. A 1-week trip, if you've only got that long, is still great. You can go see all the sights, but it's perhaps a little bit more stressful, perhaps a little bit more rushed. To get the full experience, staying in people's houses, staying in hostels, going camping even. These are ways in which we can really make sure you can experience the culture, the environment, and have a full understanding of what it is to be in Iran.
And see the friendliness of people.
Which is, you know, people are hospitable in many places, but Iran has got to be one of the best.
Yeah.
So the culture of the guest, the culture of the host, is very strong here.
So hopefully we gave you enough information to at least tickle your imagination for coming to Iran. So maybe you can get some information online on the internet, and hopefully soon you will be here. Backpackers, I'm talking to you. This is the best place for you.
Yeah, don't be afraid that you won't find what you're looking for. It's all here, and it is actually much easier than I thought it would be as well. So come with us and let's go.
Thank you. Hi again, we are standing in Persepolis, having Tatar Castle in the background and having a couple from Iran and America with us. and we're gonna have a talk with them. Hi.
Yep.
Thanks for your time.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Behnaz and Rory have the same sort of story that we have, one Iranian and one American. How's it been for you guys being here together for the first time?
Surprisingly, very simple. Once I got through the airport check-in, fingerprinting is just a couple, getting to see your family, finally matching names and faces, and
Sure.
yeah, it was actually very. I lived in China in the past,
Okay.
and I found Iran very easy to get accustomed to, and I was thinking it'd be just I'd be kind of like a fish out of water and have a hard time adjusting.
So how do you find the country, like in general? How's your overall experience?
I mean, the people are wonderful. Everyone you've ever talked to has been, friendly, helpful, very talkative, and says nice things. And I mean, pretty much all positive, Great
Sure.
food, awesome metro in Tehran,
Yep.
amazing
Sure.
history. Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And Behnaz, how has it been for you bringing your partner into the country? What did you think his impressions would be, and how has it been true and not true?
I was a bit afraid that it's difficult for him to adjust, like only English speaker. But I found it amazing how he is interacting with my family, with my grandma. They are trying little English word, and he's trying little Farsi word. And besides that, in this outside, it's really nice. And I cannot imagine it would be nicer and smoother. Everybody is so friendly and
Sure.
so animated. And
Sure.
I found it a very pleasant trip for both of us.
So as you can see, there are two mausoleums here as well, like the ones exist in Naqsh Rostam. But the reason that these two are here and the main kings or the initial kings of the Achaemenian their graves are in Naqsh Rostam is that because they are the main kings and the first couple of kings of Achaemenian emperor, they needed to show their power, to show the power of this emperor. And that's why the main kings are all together to show how powerful they are. So at this spot, at this time, for these kings, the emperor was powerful enough and everyone was heard about this emperor. So there was no need of spreading the news, basically. Well, what would you think? What is your feeling when you came here, when you see Persepolis or like this castle?
Yeah.
How would be your feeling?
Honestly, I'm just in awe and just imagining these roofs here and how did they get these columns built. And yeah, I was in Rome once and I felt a similar feeling, but knowing this is hundreds of years older, and I don't know, it's just mind-blowing. and a bit angry, I have to admit, when I walked through the gate of 100 Nations, seeing all these foreigners who carved their names there in the 1800s, and it's kind of like, oh, but you ruined something that's perfect.
Most of them were Brits, it seems.
I just see more British names. A few French. Americans don't make it out of America that often. So.
Great.
There are a few Americans.
I'm sure there were. Yeah, certainly, yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, just amazing. And I had no idea that it was on this platform so high. I just thought it was like right off the ground, and then
Yeah, the location is
amazing
spectacular, isn't it? It's,
So if you want to give us a sentence to the people of America about the country of Iran, what would that be?
if you could speak to the camera, tell them how you feel.
I would honestly say, you can't know anything about it until you come and see the place and meet the people. And what you see on TV just talks of politics and little government officials, and what really matters is the people. And across the world, people are all the same. They all just have families. They want to get along, want to have fun. Yeah, come to Iran.
Great.
Come to Iran. So yeah, this is Tachar Castle, which is the last castle or the last place which is built in the Persepolis. And for you also, that even though it's the last one which has been built in Persepolis, but in case of beauty, it is equal with the beauty of all the other places in this city.
What was so beautiful about it?
You can see the structure, the style, the designs and everything. Even though there is not a big land, you know, it has not got a.
در وسط این بنا قرار میگیرین متوجه زیبایی تمام سنگ‌ها میشین. به نوعی تمام دروازه‌ها و سنگ‌ها کنار همدیگه قرار داده شده که هیچ جای خالی
So Mr. Qasim says to find out about the main beauty of this castle, you have to be standing in the center of it. When you stand the way it's been built or the way it's been designed, when you stand in the middle of it, there is nothing empty. There's no empty space for you. That there is nothing that you can enjoy. Everything, every side you look at, there is something that you can get some beauty out of it.
Okay. Well, let's go to that spot then, if that's the place.
Yes,
to look at it.
and I think we should say bye here. And if you want to know more about this place, you should come and visit and see it yourself. I'm sure it's worth it, and we will be waiting for you here. Please do come to Iran. Thank you.
See you.
Hello and welcome back with Iran Travel Guide. We are here in the city of Mashhad, standing in the shrine of Imam Reza, who is the 8th Imam of Shia, one of the most beautiful religious Islamic complexes that you can imagine.
Yes, the complex here is huge, as befits the stature of such a man. The area covers over 600,000 square meters in a lot of different courtyards. We're in one of them here. The main one is behind us.
This complex, by dimension, is the largest Islamic mosques or Islamic
complex in the
world. And by the capacity, is the second biggest in the world. But what makes this place is very special is the belief of people. Every year, millions of people, over 25 million tourists or visitors from Iran or from other countries, from Muslim countries or from foreign countries, they come here to visit this place.
Yes, these visitors come from everywhere. There's pilgrims and are welcomed here, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim. There are lots of things here for the facilities to be able to use, including the dining halls, schools, seminaries, universities. There's even a cemetery here, and some very notable names have been buried on the premises.
Has 11 different courtyards, and these courtyards, which each one of them is named after something, like the Azadi courtyard, or as we call it Sahn, or Islamic freedom courtyard. There are 11 different courtyards.
Yes, all of them have a different function, and some of them have other reasons as well. They have water pipes here where people can get drinks in the middle of the day. This is not just purely for the reason of giving water, although of course in such a hot city you do need that. But in fact it has a very special story behind it.
And this story is about the story of Imam Hussein, the Imam of Shias, who's been kept thirsty and martyred by the Khalifas. And so because of that, as a respect to what happened to him, there are saqakhane, or the water pumps, in different parts or different courtyards of this complex that people can drink water.
Yes, the shrine itself, we can't film inside there because it's a very holy place, but people can visit there, and they do in their droves. It's made mainly of gold. It's quite spectacular inside. The gold glitters and just shows up the aura around the man of Imam Reza and glorifies the whole religion itself.
As a foreigner, maybe you just want to come here. If you're not a Muslim, maybe it's not interesting for you. But to see the unity of people in this place, to see how all these people, Muslims, Shia, Sunni, from different religions, different parts, come here to visit, to ask for like a prayer, and for different reasons they come and gather here together, and this is the most wonderful thing for me to see here.
Yes, people do believe very strongly in the power of giving wishes here. Some people can come and tie little threads onto the shrine itself, which want a wish or something to come true, wishes for the future, for good health, for money, that sort of thing. So people do come from all around the world. We've met tourists here who are Muslim, who are Sunni, who are Shia, and who are from other countries as well, non-Muslims, and everyone's welcomed here equally.
So be with us, stay with us. We're going to take you around this complex. We won't be able, as usual, to show you all different parts. This place is huge, it's really big. So we will be able only to show small parts of this beauty. So stay with us, have a look around. But if you want to see the real beauty of this place, you should come here and watch it yourself.
Absolutely.
So come with us on Iran Travel Guide as we show you around the shrine of Imam Reza.
Thank you.